the track. King shit. Look. From the city where the bums rich. Skyscrapers block the rays when the sun hits. One time coming, niggas run quick. By the time a baby woke, he got a gun grip. I was made for this. 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 I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. To be not a slave to this. I was made for 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 this. I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. Bred to be a king, I'm not a slave to this.
They don't know fact from fiction. They don't know that blacks is missing. They don't know they trapped in prison. They don't know the path to prison was a math decision. They don't know the wrath is quickened. They don't know the ass they kissing on the path of mission to put their ass in prison. They don't know black religion, fact and fiction. They don't know mama didn't leave them niggas half the kitchen with half a chicken. Fact or fiction. We still hot, we still noble. Red and blue pill global. No matter the language, we still mobiles. We Lord Skill Scott, then we Lord Skill Noble. Exercise the right to live like it is. The revolution will not be televised, it's being digitized. On the come up, it's like watching the midget rise. Sleeping giants grow another 20 feet tall. We'll teach a lion, teach the science, and tear an instrumental down. Before I lay my pencil down, I'm going down to Tinseltown to burn the temples down.
Peace and Black Power to another edition of Baba TV. Every time fire. Once again, it's my pleasure. I haven't seen this brother in a minute since we was on 25th, and he has decided to bless Baba TV live stream by paying me a visit. Brother Blue, Red Pill, how you?
I'm good, brother. I'm great. Glad to be here. To be in the building. Baba TV. It's always a privilege, you know.
Yes, sir.
We make sure that something is burning by the time we.
Yes, sir. You kind of breaking up, Brad.
Okay, hold on a minute. I think I'm downloading this Prince video. About to say that at the end of this, we'll be able to premiere that. You know what I mean? Let the family see what we've been working on.
Yes,
the Prince song, Red, Blue, Purple, like Prince. Right to do it today because they during the Grammys, and we know that Prince has been featured in the news because all of his music is now being streamed through Apple. And if we know Prince, we know that he didn't fought against that.
Right.
And talk big ownership, Billy talk, you know what I mean? You know, in the room as an owner, they want you to be a player. Own. So you own.
You're breaking up, Brad.
If anybody wants intentions behind
you was breaking up, you still breaking up.
Okay. It might be downloaded on my computer.
Yeah.
Give me 1 minute. Let me close some of these windows.
All right.
You know. What's good with you though, Baba?
Oh man, it's snowing up here, man. I'm snowed in. Other than that, I'm just chilling, you know. Ready to come on down there as soon as the weather break.
You know, I actually got snowed in. I was supposed to be in Miami right now. I canceled on Thursday because thing they shut it down, but no flights is leaving on Saturday. So a good look right there. I had to postpone my event. You know what I mean? But I'm not complaining because we didn't see a winter in New York this winter, so I'm not complaining because
Right. Red, you sticking. I can't hear nothing you saying. Red. All right, we back.
yeah, we're in the building. I gotta clear up some of these windows on my computer, slowing down and whatnot. So right now I'm off the phone. I'm on the mobile. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can hear you too.
Okay. Yeah, man. So yeah, we were talking about the launching the Prince video today, and coincidentally today is the same day that they're gonna do a tribute to him at the Grammys. And Prince, you know, the brother who was murdered, in my humble opinion, last year, along with Michael Jackson, who was murdered. And I only say that because when you look at it now, was this rush, you know what I mean, this gold rush for their catalog, for their intellectual property. Somebody wanted to own that, you know what I mean? Their publishing, you know, the things that really the real intellectual the real money in the industry, as you can see, for people who study in the hip-hop game and all of these artists that are exposing themselves about the fact that they didn't know the game, the quote-unquote game. The quote-unquote game is that you could get more money that you're actually getting in the pimp industry, the pimp hole industry, which is the music industry, where there's a huge pimp hole relationship taking place. The hoe, most of the times, is the recording artist, you know, the talent, the one who's creating the talent, the one who's being fed off of by many other parasites and people who are not as talented as the talent, but they're the ones who are basically feeding and feasting off of that talent's output, or that talent's light, or that talent's information. And Prince was anti-industry in the sense that he was anti the model of the pimp hoe relationship. He was all about taking control. He was about independent. Hold on. That wasn't even on purpose. The download. So, you know, he was about
owning his masters, being labeled as a master, right? Coming in a room full of vultures, being treated as a master. Because I don't give a fuck how much one of these artists got. They own masters. Everybody knows who knows the game. So if you walk in a room full of vultures and you just fucking food, you know what I mean? The joke is on you. You think, you know, they got these Negroes right now in LA or wherever the Grammys or wherever the awards is taking place. They puffing their chest out, walking around, looking at their hoes like, in her chest out. Look at her. Look at that. Look at my work. You know what I mean? Look at my bitch. You know? Right. And they not looking at them like they, you know, they already broke some of them sexually, like how a pimp has broken his sex slave, his bottom bitch, right? They've already put them in bed with trannies, or they got video on them. Because remember, when them artists go through them orgies and whatnot, all of the top niggas who are all part of, they all sit around and watch. You know what I mean? Like, don't think that they haven't seen your sex tape. You know, they looking at these dudes, these proud slaves walking around puffing their chest out on some, you know, like, they don't pose no threat. They're not afraid of you. They're not intimidated by you. They don't think that you even, they know that you haven't figured out the music game. This nigga hasn't even figured out the rap game. What makes me think he figured out life or power or he hasn't even figured out his or her power. The niggas are so weak because they're so powerful, yet and still they go on Twitter and they're on Instagram and they're on social media, which when you download the app, it says 14s. Yeah. On social media acting like teens. Anytime an artist who is in a tax bracket of the millions is using her phone to fucking twerk on the sink, you know what I mean? And she's not using her phone or her Instagram account to do anything else to help her people, because you can't compare black artists with Taylor Swift. You can't compare Negro artists with, you know, rock and roll Disney princesses. They are part of white dominant society. Like, what are you talking about? They're part of the fucking system. They are. Hannah Montana is supposed to be a thought. You know what I mean? It's part of the programming. Like, you're not supposed to follow Madonna and try to be like Madonna. Madonna is the fucking Esther. She's the whore. You know what I mean? Like, she's the jump off. She's, you know, she's the Mary Magdalene. You know what I mean? She is what they claimed. You know, when they have the women's suffrage movements and all of that, and they're complaining about, you know, how they weren't treated right by their own fucking sons, by their own husbands. What is it about Becky that their own husbands wasn't even treating them right? Above the people, like animals. This was around the time of Jim Crow and all of these other things. Even during chattel slavery, was still complaining about their men and the way that their men were treating them. And then they're pointing at black men and black women relationships butting in, you know, interjecting themselves into our stream of consciousness or our expression of love. And then they're dictating, you know, the pros and cons of that shit. Or they're trying to dictate to us, you know, how to go about, you know, expressing yourself to a woman in a healthy manner, or what's the best way to make love to a woman. I've never seen Europeans make love ever in any depictions of their copulation or their intercourse. It was never love. You know what I mean? It was Roman dominance. It was they were satisfying urges that they have as cannibalistic, sadistic, masochists, people who utilize sex as a tool of dominance, not sex as sex magic, not as a tool of creation, not as a tool of healing, not as a tool of tapping into your higher self, not as a tool of joining 1 and 2 together. I learned about that studying in the far fucking east. Okay, and that's why I picked up those jewels at in the far east, way like that way. You know what I mean? Like my dudes Migo and them said that way. Through the Europeans or through westernized society, they taught me how to fuck. They taught me how to beat the pussy up. They taught
You sticking, Red.
hold on, I gotta turn my ringer off. They taught you how to tie people up and dominate them, right? And punish them and all of these weird things and all that weird shit that takes place in European society. And black people act like, you know, that's not what it is. They were settled in the soap operas. Then they brought forth more of that shit through the talk shows. Then they flooded you through cable television with Sex in the City. And then they also interjected it through the movies and whatnot. But when they demoralized like the sitcoms and the TV shows, like Married with Children, you know what I mean? All in the Family. Then they had other stupid shit like Shameless and all of these other series on. Then they brought you the Osbournes and, you know, all of this degenerate shit. It's called demoralization. Normalization of fuckery. They normalize savagery. They normalize families. They normalize anti-socialism and basically not being able to have education in a way where it dealt with edification of the woman as being the Godhead and also the man and also the child. They didn't show you none of that shit through their scripted series. You'll find that shit on all of the, you could go ahead and watch TV Land all you want. It's not there. The Huxtables came close to that. That's why they were revered, because they brought that principle back, right?
Check your camera, Red. His camera's breaking up.
They brought that balance back. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see something. Checking my Wi-Fi. Yeah, my Wi-Fi should be good. So is it good? The camera's good?
Nah. Yeah. I can hear you good, but the you know, your face is like you can't really see. It's all broken up.
Let me set it right here. That better?
Facts. Now I see it. Nope. It's the same. Just the same breaking up.
All right, hold on. Let me change this Wi-Fi, y'all. Give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm trying to get it tap into this computer because my webcam will be able to pick me up.
I can see you now.
Let me adjust the let me switch the Wi-Fi. It might be on the wrong. Okay. Authentication. Connect. Yeah, so what's the last thing you heard me say?
What was you saying? Damn, it slipped my mind, Red.
Okay. Well, I know that we were talking about getting it right now. That's saved. One of these weird signals with a Wi-Fi. Okay. Can you see me right now?
Yep. Yep.
All right. As I'm building, I'm also working on my laptop, so we'll be able to pick it up better. Because I might have to share the screen and show you some things tonight. And whatnot. Let me clear all of this up. Rest in peace, Al Jarreau.
Yes, sir.
Another one of our legends, you know, who made his untimely, you know, transition. You know. Yeah, hold on a minute.
All right.
Okay. All right. So like I was saying before, you know, hold on. Close all of these windows. That's why I was doing that, because I had 1,000 windows open on this damn phone. All right. It should be better now. It should be better.
Yeah, it's showing your logo. Your logo is clear.
My logo is clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Showing the KTL Facts logo.
That's logo. Dope.
All right, now I see you. I saw you.
I'm trying to pull it up on my damn screen.
We getting it together, family. Bear
Yes, we
with
are,
us.
fam. Give us 1 minute. If you have anything you want to ask me, though, in the meantime, we could build on that.
Other than that daily news paper where it had President Obama in Hawaii with his hands up with the scuba gear on, and on the bottom it had the white lady on there. It said "Hell in Paradise" with hell in red and in paradise in white. What's the suggestion behind that, brother? You there, Red? All right, he be back in a minute, family. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, we back.
Yeah, we're in the building. Pardon the technical difficulties. But what were you asking?
About that front cover of that daily newspaper with President Barack Obama in the scuba diving suit with his hands in the air, and then on the bottom half of the newspaper it had the white woman, and in big red letters it had hell in red letters and in paradise in white letters. What's going on with that?
Well, you know, from the looks of it, I know that they're not very fond of President Barack Hussein Obama. And I'm talking about white dominant society, not just Donald Trump, okay? Because when we're talking about the code, all of them are in the same motherfucking boat, okay? I don't care what they're making it appear as, like they got beef with each other. You know, that's all Hegelian dialect. Like, that shit is not real, you know what I mean? You know, beef is when you can't cross the street. I know real beef. But some people have disagreements, of course, with Donald Trump and maybe with the way that he's doing things. You know, you may be in an organization where the leader may be a little bit extreme. You want to slow rock niggas to sleep. You want to, you know what I mean? You want halal meat. You don't want to just start going in there and butchering shit. You feel me? You want to halal the beef. You know, like them niggas will sing songs to it, poetry, and then slit his throat. So that's the only discrepancy that you have. It was the same kind of discrepancy Hitler had with some of the Germans. They were just like, yo, we want to exterminate these people a different way. And he was like, fuck that. I'm going all in. I'm just, you know, there's no time to waste. So because of what he did with Israel on the way out, he was on the bad side of Israel, you know, who are definitely responsible for manipulating the media or the masses through the media, the control that they have over covers like the Daily News and especially the Post through Murdoch and all of them. If you're not a friend of Israel, you're not a friend of the media. So if you're not a friend of Trump right now, then you're not a friend of corporate America, right? All of that fake ass, like the media is going to create a media darling who they're going to use as the opposition or the, you know, the antagonist to Trump's protagonist. You know what I mean? They're going to have to create a troll, somebody who's the same way that Trump was created as Obama's troll. People don't realize that. They don't keep up with that. But Alex Jones, you know, Bill O'Reilly, all of the people who have influenced the alt-right, all the people who have influenced Trump's vote base, but not really his voter base, more so like the brown shirts to Hitler's brown shirts or the red hats to Hitler's brown shirts. Like, yeah, there's people who voted for Trump and they're in business. And yeah, there's people who voted for Trump because they don't want to, you know, lose their jobs. But yeah, there's a standing army who voted for Trump, who heard the motherfucking code. They heard the message in his speeches that it was basically time for them to stand up because the opportunity is going to come forward, is going to present itself where they're going to be given a chance to prove themselves to their community, you know what I mean? Or to their people or to their cause. And please believe, you don't know. I mean, if you don't know what their cause is, and if you don't know what their community is, just study history, study Manifest Destiny, study what's going on with the pipelines right now in Dakota, study how did they get the lands of the Americas, study, you know, the papal bulls of Rome, study the Reconquista, the Crusades, all of the things that they're talking about in the media right now. Because if you don't think that this motherfucker is crusading, then you need to do extra credit. Nah, fuck that. You don't even get to come out of homeroom. Like, you know, if you can't figure that one out, then you're dangerous to the whole school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're beyond special ed. You know, you just in the kitchen cleaning dishes, ass nigga. Like, that's so obvious. Like, there's a crusade taking place, and the evangelical Christians, the Zionists, and many other people are on board. Obama, in their eyes, is a blackamoor. He comes from a white womb. He's a mulatto. He's biracial. He is what is known as a little more. He's a Morisco, but he's still a threat to their dominance, and their dominance is predicated off of you know, their dominance is predicated off of whatchamacallit.
Put it back on your symbol, Red, because you breaking up. Now you all right, though.
Yeah, dominance is predicated off of their lives. All right. And the forces that they're able to create, or the, you know, the whatchamacallit, the false reality that they promote, the alt facts, you know, the false paradigm that Western society is built off of, the big lie. So Obama, he's still a threat because he knows the secrets. He's a loose cannon. You know, he's been, you know, that Trump was his troll. So I don't think he likes Trump the same way that Trump doesn't like him. He knows that Trump as a dictator basically, you know, it would be an ugly day for him and his family. So I don't know. I know that they've been trying to line him up for a long time, but this I don't know how many friends he has. I don't know if he has any friends or friends with power.
Yeah, you breaking up, Brad. You breaking up.
Am I clear?
All right, now I can hear you good now. Yep.
You can see me too?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, they because of what he represents, and because of the fact that it's not like the office right now, you know, they just disagree with his policies. No, they have a hard on. Yes. You know what I mean? These people who voted for Trump, they voted, a majority of them voted for Trump because they hate Obama and they called him Muslim. And they thought they shredding the Constitution, and he was eroding the values and principles and morality of what they deemed a Christian country, which my brother showed in his lecture. The United States of America, by no ways and means, is a Christian country. They said it themselves, not Christian. You know, if anything, it's Masonic. But even before that, they deal with multiple deities. They worship multiple deities from multiple backgrounds and multiple traditional systems. This is from the mouth of the founding fathers, right? So I hope that Obama is aware of the stakes of this game that everybody's playing. Like I said, they want to traumatize Black people, the powers that be, or whatever these forces are that's out here got us catching L's and shit, you know what I mean? Or they're manipulating the frequencies. That's a better way of explaining it. They're manipulating the overall frequency of our people by inducing them in the frequencies of fear, hate, you know, uncertainty. You know, they got niggas going to Trump Tower begging, right? But they're doing it fear-based. They're doing it with a fear attached to it. You go to any barbershop, they're having these Trump debates, but there's no solution. And it's fear-based, you know what I mean? It's like what he's gonna do to us, what he's not gonna do to us. But people are giving him power, and they're feeding into the psyops, the psychological operation that's taking place, that's being waged through the media, that's being waged on people who don't have knowledge, that's being waged on people who claim to have knowledge but don't really have. They got consciousness, but they don't got knowledge. It's being waged on unsuspecting who are buying into Hegelian dialect, buying into Neanderthal white people, white dominant society, all being on code. Because the same thing that you're seeing take place right now took place in Germany with Hitler, when media was complicit with his rise, and they were acting like they were the opposition to his rise. They perfected that with fucking Bush in them. Like, they playbook over again, and people are falling victim all over again. They think that the liberals, you know, or the left are against Trump when they're all working together. You know, and that Obama could raise up the awareness of a lot of people by being transparent about what took place over those 8 years with him. You know, Obama could say some things that could neutralize a lot of the things, but you know, I'm not wishing on no goddamn Obama. You know what I mean? He could have did it in 8 years. So post-President Obama is really a farce. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that you can't even trust. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do much for Black liberation.
And people would be like, he did stuff for other people. What I'm saying is, compared to what he did for everybody else, he didn't do what he promised for our nation as a whole, our race, our people, and those of us who did not qualify as LBGT, Israeli, you know, the banks, shit like that. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of karma floating around these days for people, for shit that people did do and what they didn't do. And in the theater of politics, in the theater of war, because please believe we're at war. I don't, if there's nothing else that has been clarified, that we're at war. There's wars taking place, spirit wars, secret wars, motherfucking you know, it's wars, it's image wars taking place, it's information wars taking place. You know, higher, what they say in the biblical passages, we're at war with higher principalities. You know, our people walk on them. Who put them on them? How the fuck did they wake up with a spell on them? Who put the spell on them? How did niggas is just stumbling into Spellville all of a sudden? All of our people are just under spells, coincidentally. Like, no, this wasn't a concerted effort by a group of people, right? Who, right? Shout out to Philip A. Muhammad. This book, Willie Lynch's Newest Slaves, talks about the music industry. Let me read the description. Rappers brag of murder. They call black women bitches. They glorify the use of drugs and alcohol. Over 95% of all songs recorded speak of actions and behaviors that lead straight to our destruction. But the sorry thing is, people who do not belong to our communities are getting paid off of our destructive behaviors. This, my people, is the truest definition and example of slavery. This shit is real. Okay? A hip hop nation, Willie Lynch's Newest Slaves. Right? And the people who are behind this, and in this book, by my sister Shishak Kamek. I believe she's affiliated with the Amin Ra Squad. Confronting the whitewashing of European history, medieval upheaval, and in an essay written to empower African Americans, employs respected historians in examining events during Europe's medieval age, a time marked by violent social upheaval between European year 0 in the 1800s. It is probable that tens of millions died torturous deaths as Europeans battled one another for political and social supremacy. White dominant society. Okay, they whitewashed that. They glossed over that. They did not care to explain what role you played in that. And they just brought you in the movie during the chattel slavery scenes when you niggas was in wagons and stuff. And that's not the complete story. So if you go into a movie and you walk in a 5-hour movie, 3 hours into the movie, do you really think that you're gonna really walk away with the whole totality of the goddamn story? So by them giving you slavery, well, shit, that's what they doing. Go and read this book, Guns, Germs, and Steel. Okay? Guns, Germs, and Steel to the America with guns, right? They brought forth to people who were utilizing wood, because these were like, you know, they were using wooden shields and fucking spears and shit. Guns. So when they seen the rockets, them sticks talking, when they seen the rockets firing from, you know, when they saw the white man shooting thunder, like they say, Quetzalcoatl, the Quetzalcoatl will reappear. They were, you know, these people were subdued. And then they came with germs like syphilis, AIDS, gonorrhea, smallpox. They were bringing forth germ warfare by breathing on niggas, okay? By giving them the D. They was killing chicks, you know what I'm saying? If you was sliding into the yoni, into Cave Becky, you might not slide out, you know what I'm saying? The steel, the aspect of steel was very dominant in the Iron Age. They were, you know, they
got a grip on that steel. And that steel against that wood, pulse, you know, it has some adverse effects. So some of us study history. What they've done is they manipulated history by showing you niggas slave depictions and slave movies. And by altering your history, they've succeeded in altering your future. Because if niggas ain't stuck in that Jim Crow slave bag right now, then I don't know what the fuck to say. I mean, God damn it. I think it's worse now than it actually was in that time, because our people have wholesale bought into a lie. They bought into a depiction of themselves being weaklings. They bought into a depiction of themselves being cool, being stupid. They bought into a depiction of themselves being subservient, begging ass niggas. They bought into a depiction of themselves being docile, scary ass, you know, effeminized, you know, poor excuses of men. Don't even say the word warriors, because you haven't seen a depiction of your warrior self in God knows how long. And don't say Nat Turner, because he wasn't even on his warrior shit. Not in the depiction of the movie that old homeboy made. You know, he showed him getting busy. If you went to the fucking bathroom, you would have missed that one. You feel me? Like, no. He ain't show him in the gym, in the fucking barn getting right. You know what I mean? He didn't show him sawing off somebody's head. He didn't show him knocking the nigga head off of his shoulders. Like, we need to lie a bit. We need to get into some fucking fantasy. For all these niggas is fantasy addicts. They're fantasy lecturers. You got niggas out here that's part of my fantasy team, like my top 10 fantasy team and shit. They do fantasy lectures. Why they don't write a fantasy script for a movie? Because that's what we need right now. We need to actually lie. Like, we need to show depictions of us going back in time with fucking bandanas and choppers and Dracos and Swiss cheese and the Europeans on the plantation, or going up in motherfucking King Ferdinand's royal chambers with a rocket launcher, shit like that. You know, we got to do shit like that to undo the damage that has been done through this neurocinematics. Neurocinematics, they rewired you niggas' brains. They rewired your perception of reality based off of depictions that they put forth in the Roots, slave porn, Roots reboot, 12 Years a Slave, The Butler, The Help, the motherfucking, all of the miniseries that came on TV when niggas was groveling slaves. Anytime that they show us now on the movies, if it's not some buffoonery that's taking place now, you dying in the future, or it's from the 50s and the 60s onward back and you was a slave. If you wasn't a slave, you was a fucking a broken ass nigga. You was a bed wench. You was a motherfucking subservient serf. That's what they showing niggas. They ain't showing you on no Superman shit. You ain't beating no, you're not saving the planet. You know what I mean? You're not saving the damsel in distress. You're not the hero. You're not getting the woman at the end. You ain't walking off with the prize, nigga. You're not walking off with the booty. You're not the victor. You're the help. You know what I'm saying? You're helping the nigga get pussy. You helping him get on. You helping him get the bag. You know what I mean? You just a help, or you just a villain. You in the way. So how do you think people are gonna function in a society where they're inundated? In a room full of vultures, you can one of the vultures.
You break it up, Brad.
Is it better?
Yeah, now you good. Breaking up some more, Brad.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
If we don't decide collectively how to deal with that, then we're going to find ourselves in a lot of trouble because we can't devolve and evolve at the same fucking time. For those of us that are devolving, well, there should be a cat. They should be left to their devolution. They should be allowed to devolve. And those of us that are evolving, we should definitely be allowed to evolve. Don't, you know, we should not, we shouldn't be disrupted, or we shouldn't be, you know, interrupted in our evolution. I think that that's sinister. I feel that that's an invasion of privacy. And I feel that that's a means to go to war over, because, you know, you're impeding upon our legacy. You know what I mean? I'm not impeding upon your legacy to be a fucking purse carrying, heel wearing ass nigga. You know what I mean? If they want to do that, I'm not on record stopping nobody from walking down 125th Street, you know, looking crazy. Facts.
Facts.
They allowed to do that crazy shit. I laugh. You know, it's something. It's part of your legacy. If you want to live with that, if you want that to be part of your fucking reel, your role, your show reel, or your film reel when your shit rewinds in life, well, so be it. God damn it, that's your choice. So we gotta allow people to do what the fuck they want to do during the times of Kali Yuga, during this time of backward living, during this bizarro world, you know, but also during this time of the age of enlightenment, or the age of, you know, information, or the age of Aquarius, like people like to call it. You know, we should be rejoicing at these days and times, because everything that we wanted to manifest, or that we prepared to manifest, is actually beginning to manifest. Now, what you find is a group of students who are in the same classroom or in the same university as people who've been preparing for this for almost a decade. And then you got people who came in yesterday and they not prepared for this shit. And they don't know what they're looking at. And they're not mentally or spiritually in alignment with the truth, or with their truth, to take them away from any distractions that's all in their way.
Mm-hmm.
So it is our duty, those of us who have a different kind of vantage point, who see things for what we see things for, you know, it's just our duty to share that with the family. And that's simply what we're doing. We're just sharing our perspective, sharing our what we see, you know, sharing our viewpoint, you know, with the viewers, you know what I'm saying? And then we just keep it moving. I wouldn't be here on the phone with you, or I wouldn't be on the computer with you, if some of the things that I wasn't saying wasn't relevant and it wasn't on point. Like if I was just out there shooting the shit, or selling wolf tickets, or, you know, regurgitating old information, then you wouldn't be wanted, you know, what's up? You would probably want to talk to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we're following a certain kind of narrative, you know what I mean? And we know what we're sharing with the family. What's up? I'm on a live stream. What's good? I'm on a live stream. I'm live streaming. What's up? Yeah, that's right there. So yeah, you know, that's just what's going on. You know what I mean? What the good part about it is, those of us who are out here doing the work, if you don't see that the work is becoming more simple to do, or, you know, a lot of you were standing on is becoming right and exact, the foundation is, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But this whole Trump administration thing, man, this is like Candyland to a motherfucking teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is like prophecy fulfilled for people that have been out here beating on the drums, trying to explain to you the mentality of these sociopaths who are the descendants of these motherfuckers, right? Who
we can identify are some of the people in power. Like this shit would be irrelevant if this was a segment of European society who did not have power and dominance. Because you could be white or European or Neanderthal or Caucasian and not have any fucking power whatsoever and not be a part of dominant society. And for that, I'm not even talking to you. You're not even relevant. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck? What the fuck are you doing with your privilege? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? Because you could be like, I'm with the blacks. But you with the blacks doing what?
Mm-hmm.
With your white skin. You with the blacks doing what? With the pass. Like, you got a fucking pass to get into certain places, to disrupt some things, and to make some things happen in the name of whiteness. The same way that they could send motherfuckers amongst us who look just like us, talk like us, walk like us, and they're like in the Matrix when Agent Smith woke up in Zion and started to wreck shop. In the history of this movement, I haven't come across one Caucasian European pilgrim yet who done that. Don't give me no Jim Brown. I don't even know that story. Like, I don't even know if it's relevant like that. But I'm talking about in the past 100 years for all the smart niggas out there. You feel me? I haven't heard those stories of them serving that kind of purpose where they utilize their past or they utilize their access or they utilize their avatar to disrupt and to cause damage to the motherfucking supremacy system. No, I read about niggas coming amongst you, rocking you to sleep, telling you shit that you want to hear, stroking your motherfucking ego, paying your phone bill and all of that stupid shit, and you niggas let shit go. That's what I always see taking place. And you get neutralized and you get absorbed into, you get assimilated, or they assimilate into your system and then take your system over, take your organization over, take your movement over, take your doctrine over. You feel me? Take over some of the motherfuckers that trademark your intellectual property. And that's what we see taking place in the community. They got motherfuckers creeping in right now, you know, with tentacles, trying to own shit, trying to take control of motherfucking movements and stuff like that. So you got to be careful. You got to be on point. You got to, just because a nigga got black face and he's coming into the movement, you know, trying to commercialize the movement or trying to do certain things, you got white people behind them. They funding it. They feeding, they're seeding the motherfucking, they're doing the same thing that they did with the Ford Foundation, with the NAACP. They did the same thing with the Panthers. All of that Black Lives Matter shit, that was black puppets with white puppeteers behind them. You know what I mean? With flashlights trying to move through the darkness. You know what I'm saying? And they're collecting data. They don't care about the camera. They just want the data. Niggas is visiting the website. They want your IP and address. They want your email. Motherfuckers is answering surveys. They want to find out, psychologically profile you. People are showing up to the lectures. I mean, no, they don't do lectures. To the rallies and the marches. You know, they're doing face recognition. They're able to take pictures of 100 acre. They're able to take one picture of 100 acres with drones. And then do face recognition on every fucking face in that 100 acres. So, you know, they're using niggas to come out, Black Twitter, hashtags. They know how to do a hashtag. They get the data off of hashtagging, and then they find out, you know, they do a profile on you and put you in a folder, you know, all of these things. So it's all COINTELPRO, it's all Black Messiah, you know, Aunt Raza, Black Messiah, all of that shit is at play as we speak. Sessions as a motherfucking attorney general, Black Messiah. Motherfucking Steve Bannon, Black Messiah. The motherfucking executive orders blocking all Muslim countries, all Moorish countries, the Sudan. All you niggas that say you're from the Sudan on one hand, you conveniently African. The Somalians, the motherfucking Libyans, that's the Barbary Empire. The Somalians, that's the dynasties of the Moors, the motherfucking Berbers, the Libyans. You know, they're not allowing Moors or Moorish nations to come inside of the borders of the United States of America, Christendom. Like, That's Blackamoor Messiah. That's fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. You know what I'm saying? They're about to start telling niggas if you owe money to the IRS, you can't leave the borders. You know what I mean? That's fear. That's medieval shit. They was telling you couldn't, if you was a serf, if you didn't pay your landlord, or if you wasn't giving up taxes, you couldn't travel. When they conquered certain kingdoms in the Reconquista, you as a Muslim or as a Jew, you couldn't come inside of those kingdoms. There was called something called the capitulation of the Jews and the Moors. They kicked them completely out of Europe and then started whiting in Europe in the 1600s. That's how Portugal got white again. That's how Spain got white again. Make Europe white again. That's why the Brexit and all of these things are taking place. And Europe is dealing with xenophobia, and they're kicking out Moors, and they're kicking out the descendants of Moors, and they're kicking out people who have those bloodlines, because those people who have those bloodlines are coming in their country and disrupting the motherfucking spell. They're disrupting the way of life, which is a spell, which is a program. They're bringing forth information of their ancestry. They're reminding them of that time, and it's interrupting the programming that these European, it's breaking the spell. It's breaking the lie. It's challenging the false reality. It's throwing bricks to the glass house. It's decoding their matrix. So they're like, yo, we can't allow that. And please understand that they've been watching the community for a while now. Breitbart, alt-right, the white boys in 4chan, the same motherfuckers that's in the White House right now. They could have been different white boys, but we're talking about them specifically. Who do you think been trolling in the chat rooms of the Black Power websites for 8 years? Who do you think was putting people's information on websites of white supremacists and saying, yo, this is where this person lives, this is their real name, this is even their social security number? Who do you think was feeding Bill O'Reilly and all of these other alt-right and, you know, white supremacy talking heads, and all of the, when they did all of the propaganda reports on the Moors, right? Muslim extremists that live inside of the borders of America. That's what Trump is talking about. Islamic extremists that operate within the borders of America. Then he's going to Chicago. But he's bringing the feds to Chicago. The last time the feds was in Chicago, Fred Hampton was getting killed. And a lot of the Panthers and the Black consciousness movement that emanates from Detroit and Chicago was being crushed. That's called the first COINTELPRO, the rise of the Black Messiah, the preventing of the rise of the Black Messiah. That already happened, family. So him saying that he's bringing the feds in Chicago, and he, at the end of the day, he's taking white supremacy and KKK off of the list of what is known as the hate groups in America, because once he has to take them off the group, he has to take them off the list, because once they take them off the list and protect their own, then they create legislation that says if we identify the members of the hate, because the hate groups are already identified. They don't need to identify them. They don't need fucking research. They already identified them. The group, the Jews, the ADL, and other people already tagged everybody, right? So he takes the KKK, the white supremacists, off of the list. Then he says, yo, we're gonna sign an executive order to aggressively round up the dissidents of extremist Islam inside of the borders of America. We're going to be able to black water them. We're going to be able to black site them and rendition them. We're going to even be able to drone them within the borders of America. But they can't do that if they have their own people on that list. Okay? So they got to put Bannon in there, who's the grand dragon of all of them, and Sessions, who is the fucking master teacher, grand dragon. Just think in terms of master elder, master teacher, grand dragon. So if Dr. Clark goes into a administration of a president and he becomes more powerful than the president, as a student of Dr. Clark, you sit back because you know what Dr. Clark is going to initiate as a master teacher, because you're familiar with his doctrine. So if a Steve Bannon
from the most, I mean, he's one of the most open white supremacists that has been calling for the genocide of black people and people of color for decades. And all of his affiliates, like his whole fucking crew, is dealing with, I'm talking about this beyond KKK. KKK is just foot soldiers for them. If he's more powerful than the president right now, because if you Google President Bannon, you'll see what I'm talking about. Trump has elevated him in an unprecedented way to where he's giving him more power than Trump. Damn near. Or as much as Trump. So if he's at the motherfucking wheel right now, what do you think is about to happen? And people, they forgot what happened over the summertime with the Popo getting murked. But Trump just signed something for the Popo. And he's identified open enemy to the police, and it's not the majority of the white supremacists who are on record for killing the most police last year. They caught the most bodies. It was the white supremacists up until this moment. They the ones who was doing the most killing of Blue Lives Matter. But according to the administration, Black Lives Matter is me of the police, and according to the administration, everybody's Black Lives Matter. Because that was the goal of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is not even a real organization, because if I put a hashtag on my tweet, I'm become black. It's called an ambiguous group. It follows the same model that Occupy Wall Street follows, and it's a new model for organization where there's no identifiable leader and there's no structure. Everybody's the leader, and it's a T-shirt movement, meaning that all you have to do is don a T-shirt with the slogan, and you're part of that actual movement. Or you can hashtag a statement, and then you vicariously become, and that's super duper dangerous. So he's about to create legislation to criminalize and to basically put them as terrorists within the borders. And, you know, I mean, I don't have to spell it out. Like, what the fuck? I don't got to spell it out. You know, I don't have to, we're not adolescents in this chat room or in the stream. We've been watching enough videos from our master teachers, so we know what the fuck we see. We know what's going on. We know what's being properly prepared in the kitchen. You know,
brother Jack in the chat room say race war bound to happen.
Oh man, of course, that's being manipulated by the media. That's being manipulated by, you know, somebody like Trump, who strategically, because remember, he has nothing to do with trailer parks. He has nothing to do with the foot soldiers of the Aryan nations. You know, the only thing that they share in common is their dislike for melanated people, their disdain for, you know, a race that is dominant genetically, that has the genetic markers of dominance amongst another people who are so narcissistic and have so many Messiah and God complexes that they are feeling that their supremacy is being threatened by the culture of hip hop. Their supremacy is being threatened by the politics of Black nationalism. Their supremacy is being threatened by the rising consciousness. Their supremacy is being threatened by Black messianic forces that exist in all realms of activity, sports, motherfucking entertainment, motherfucking sex, motherfucking intellectualism, consciousness. I mean, you name it. It you know, you saw it in Rio. You saw it in Rio at the Olympics, and it was our sisters and stuff like that. Like the dominance, that dominant gene. You know what I mean? That God particle that they're looking for. You know, that God particle that exists within us is activated and is beginning to activate for more people. There's more people waking up than going to sleep. How about that? And for the ones that's going to sleep, well, they are cannon fodder. Why would you even concern yourself with cannon fodder? It's a choice that they made. You know what I mean? They're going to be cannon fodder, meaning that they're just going to be used as pawns. They're the front line. They're the first ones to go. So hell yeah, they're cooking a race war, and they're utilizing the ignorant. I want to put forth. I put a tweet out today. Tariq Nasheed had put a tweet out about the Department of Education misspelling W.E.B. Du Bois' name. So I'm like, yo, that's the miseducation of the Neanderthal. They talk about the miseducation of the Negro. What about the miseducation of the Neanderthal? What about that they're some of the most miseducated, ignorant, uneducated, unintelligent human species or species of mankind on the planet? Like the majority of them don't know the stuff that some of them know. They don't know half of the stuff that our people know. So they're miseducated as to who the fuck they are. So the powers that be are playing off of their miseducation, and they're gonna infuse them with all of this race pride, this fake ass race pride, and all of this feelings of superiority, and they're going to make them foot soldiers in their civil war. You know what I mean? But you already see the press who's in bed with Trump having talk about a military coup, when in reality the military coup will definitely come from Trump and Pence and all of their different billionaire corporate cronies and whatnot. There's not going to be a coup from anywhere else but from that side. So they will attempt a coup. He orchestrated his own coup and then take further power as a result of being triumphant in that coup, or orchestrating something where a more sinister force or more sinister regime was able to take power and to take over, and then you see all kind of things collapsing. Because remember, I keep saying it, in Iraq, it was 4 or 5 wars taking place at once. In Libya, they created about 4 wars. Even in Syria, they're like, yo, the Taliban, no, ISIS is fighting Russia. Russia is fighting Syria. Syria's army is fighting ISIS and Russia. America is fighting al-Nusra and motherfucking ISIS, and then they're bombing. You know what I mean? Like, so for a group of people who want to purge or who want to eradicate, or they want to create collateral damage out of another group of people, one of the greatest assets in war is deception. War is deception. So you can't believe nothing of what you're seeing and hearing. You got to look at it in a whole nother way. So they will create a theater of war in order to destroy their ultimate, to destroy their targets. Because remember, making Black Messiahs targets give them power. Making the Messianic ones targets gives them validity. It gives them power. It makes the world say, wait, why? So they got to be like, yo, we coming in Chicago for the drillers, for Chief Keef and them niggas, and the violence that is taking place with the young boys with dreadlocks, you know what I mean, and wear true religions and stuff. But they're not talking about the cartels that are in Chicago that are doing a lot of bodies, El Chapo and them. They're not talking about the fact that a lot of people from Chicago is accusing the police of pulling off, all of these ops. They have fucking black sites in Chicago. They was renditioning niggas and killing them and then dumping their bodies. They was torturing them. They was robbing them. The Justice Department put out a report that said the Chicago Police Department is one of the most corrupt police departments on this planet. So they're going to use the guise of going in to try to stop gangs to go ahead and disrupt the Nation of Islam, the MSTA, and all other movements that exist in Chicago. That is what is basically, remember, it's not about how active they are right now. It's not about what personality is coming out of these states. It's the fact that these states are geodetically, or they are aligned through parallels. They represent something just in the fact that they're landmarks. Like the Audubon is a landmark. Like Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the landmark. So they kill a man in Tulsa, a preacher, in broad daylight. You know what I mean? And all of these other places, like all of these places in Missouri, St. Louis, what the fuck? What's the purpose of that whole Golden Arch? That was the, Missouri. That was basically where they went forth and launched their Manifest Destiny, basically taking over the rest of the continent of America. Those twin arches.
you know, Baltimore, the significance of South Carolina, the significance of all of these places where they're doing these ritualized lynchings. Because I got about 50 names of melanated people who died since Trump got inaugurated or since he was elected president. You never seen them on the news. Nobody's even talking about them, which gives people the impression that they're still not killing our people, and they're killing our people more now than they were killing them before. It's a whole bunch of names. It scared the shit out of me when I'm looking at their faces and all of that. So they cherry pick and choose these names, these stories, these places where they kill them at, and they decide to broadcast it. As everybody knows through research, George Soros was the one who funded the Mike Brown 48-hour news cycle, right? That's what she did. You know what I'm saying? That's what he did it with millions of dollars. You can buy a 48-hour news cycle. Like I could purchase a news block right now for 24 hours and just keep looping my story and keep looping the information and basically just control that news block for 24 hours. Possible. That's what he did. And he inserted Black Lives Matter. He inserted different slogans. He inserted all of that Negro shit that we see permeate, and people are mistaking that for the conscious community. He was responsible for that. And he has ulterior motives that supersede the motives of the 3 lesbians from Oakland, California. They are who are some of the progenitors to Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? He's a social entrepreneur investor. So he got his aims is bigger than their aims. Fuck their aims. You know what I mean? They try to throw their aims out there like your aims ain't bigger than his aims. He the nigga that cut the check. He got the bag. You know, that's what's taking place. Some of the things right now, you know, Beyonce's having twins. This era that we're in right now, like we explained with Trump, he's a Gemini. So Barack Obama was a Leo. He represented a certain kind of energy as a Leo, and he represents because the Oval Office, whatever energy is sitting in that Oval Office, permeates the way that. Remember, what do they call it? Egypt on the Potomac, right? With Anthony Browder. It's Egypt on the Potomac. So they've set up the whole Washington, D.C. to not only mimic Egypt, but also to be able to tap into certain powers, certain kind of spells. There's a certain kind of power that emanates from that 12-mile radius. You know what I mean? The Tekken Nudist setup. You know what I mean? On the mall and whatnot, the waters, all of these things play a part. But that energy that's sitting in the Oval Office, he's a Gemini. That's his birth sign. That's the twins. So you're seeing a lot of twin energy rising as a result of that Gemini coming into office. One of the most famous Instagram pictures in history was a picture of Beyonce announcing to the world that she's pregnant with twins. You know? That's the twinning energy. That's the energy that's permeating right now. You know, so
brother in the chat wants to know is now a good time. He wants you to talk on the reptilians.
Dr. Delbert Blair, rest in peace, whose death anniversary just recently passed, is one of the foremost experts in that realm. I would definitely tell anybody who wanted any research into the reptilians or what is rumored to be other life forms that are living on this planet, go and Google Dr. Delbert Blair and go ahead and immerse yourself in the collection of information that's timeless. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter when he did it because he was a very respected researcher, and he's been doing this for a very long time. And he was tapping into places that none of us have been able to tap into. Do I personally believe that there's life forms that are superior
to the human being life form, you goddamn Skippy I am. The fuck? I'm not as arrogant as some of these humans that are out here that think that they exist in a galaxy, a star system amongst different constellations, and they're so fucking arrogant to where they think that they're the only motherfuckers that can build a ship, that can run some fucking running water. You know what I mean? They could make a computer or stuff like that. Like, no. I know that we can only see visibly 10% of the light spectrum. So that alone shuts down a lot of conversations that motherfuckers be trying to have. Like, there's a whole nother world taking place right now as I'm sitting here talking to you. There's a unseen realm of light. 90% of my light spectrum is not visible to the human eye. So there's special glasses that you could put on and you could see microwaves moving around as I'm talking right now. Then there's other glasses or other ways of seeing where you can see spirit in movement as I'm speaking to you right now. So to say that there's, I went to 2001, no, it was 2000, I think. We was in California. We went to Venice Beach, right? We was on Venice Beach. And my brother pointed out a group of crackers, right? Neanderthals. These wasn't no humans, B. Like, I don't care what nobody say. These wasn't humans. Okay? They did not look like human beings. And they could not come from a strain, or they did not even look like they came from a strain of human being, or even mankind for that matter. Like, they gave me an eerie ass feeling over my whole body. So I don't know, man. I like I said, I will never put anything past this holographic reality that we live. Yo, B, Batman is real in an alternate universe somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like Mickey Mouse and them niggas is real when you go to Disneyland to our children. You know, Jesus Christ has a alternate reality where he's really a being. He's really a real flesh and bone deity, like, you know what I mean? So I don't put nothing past this world. I don't put nothing past this reality. I don't put anything past the unknown or the unseen, because it's the unknown and the unseen. You know, my grandfather was in the armed forces. He was a sea merchant, sailor. Shit come out the water in in World War II. There wasn't a submarine. So you know, I don't know. I know that some of the actions of some of these people are very reptilian like. You feel me? Very reptilian like. You know, a lot of people are in their reptilian brain. When we're in the womb, we're reptiles, right? We're living in water. You know what I'm saying? Like a tadpole. We live in water, and then we're out here breathing in air. In the meat. So I don't know. But go ahead and study Baba. You know, go ahead and study Delbert Blair for all of that information, because he's the man.
All right. Well, let's get back down to earth and talk about this Caucasian and the sick mind that he produces. One of the things that plagues a lot of people, it seems to me, is the sickness of individualism. Now, you know, we know that there's a difference between individualism and individuality. We know that individualism is the ideology that I come first and the hell with everybody else. Individuality is the recognition that each one of us is a creation, melanated people, that is a creation of the creator, and have a unique responsibility to the progress of the collective whole. And the problem with this damn cracker's education and what it produces is that sick mind of individualism rather than individuality and collective responsibility. Speak to that spiritual disease a little bit, brother.
Well, in order for remember, they've created a society based off of a doctrine, right? And in order for that doctrine to be relevant in their society, then there's certain things that they can't speak in favor of. And in order for capitalism to survive, or white supremacy for that matter, to flourish,
You sticking, Red. Move your camera, brother.
can't necessarily teach.
Go back over that. You had broke up. Sorry, Red. Go back over that.
Phone had rang. They can't necessarily teach the things that me and you are teaching about the power of the community or the power of the people. The fact that the majority of the answers that people are looking for is simply in the people. And I'm trying my best to show the people that the answers that people are like willing to kill for, willing to die for. But I'm ready to die for this. I'm ready to die. I'm like, you ain't ready to kill though. So, like cut that shit out. You're not even ready. Because the nigga is really ready to get busy. The language is different. Like you're like, I'm ready to kill something. Motherfucker, you're not ready to die. Because it's all kind of people dying every day. And nobody has died for the cause yet. Okay, so all that I'm ready to die shit, it sounds cute and everything, right? It's not real. It's not real. It's not based in reality. Now if an Arab said I'm ready to die, I might believe him. I might take him for, I might take him up on their word. Because they're just a different kind of, they deal with a different kind of mentality when it comes to that. You know what I mean? They have a different,
right where you was at. That was perfect.
Yeah.
So
individualism would not allow the capitalistic society to function in the manner in which it's functioning. Okay. They have to promote individualism, everybody out for themselves. That is what all the dog eat dog society. Dog society is an exact definition of Western society or capitalism for that matter. And even more so today because of the rise of the iRobot, like the iMac or your iPhone or your iPad. It's about So even with those, they have personal computers now. Everybody's married to their smartphone. You can't touch my phone. I will fucking, you know what I mean? Like I'll break a finger or two. There's reports of boyfriends breaking the thumbs of their girlfriend trying to scroll to the left. Shit like that. People are into they're it's about I. Everybody's about individualism. I'm not watching the Grammys. I receive text updates from the family who keep us updated to information. But they said that she was performing visual independent woman, but she ain't that independent though. She's pregnant with twins. She didn't do that independently. Come by herself. It didn't come with Beyonce making herself pregnant through meditation and through all of her money and all of that. No, Jay-Z plugged in, okay? And he did what all we've been doing for billions of years.
Move the camera, Red. You breaking up. There you go.
So individualism is a telltale of a society of have-nots. Read Iceberg Inheritance. Go back to the ISIS papers with Frances Cress Wilson, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, pardon me, and she'll explain to you the psychology behind the European and the trauma, right? Because they talk about post-traumatic slave syndrome and all of that, or cave syndrome, right? And what about slave syndrome? Because they're the original slaves. They were enslaved. They were put into brothels and they were put in farms, corsairs, you know. The European before it happened to the quote unquote West African and, you know, the brothers of the motherland, current with Europe time. So they have a level of trauma as well that they deal with, right? Like if they were to begin to recreate all of these where Europeans were depicted in chains and bondage, yeah, I promise you there will be the same way that this funding taking place in Black society. In the next 10 years, there will be a humongous function taking place in white society, but it will almost begin immediately if it was shown that depiction, and by showing them that depiction in the cinematic, cinematic picking of that would create kind of alternate realities that will create all kind of disruptions in their society. That will do a lot of things. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? On laptop.
All right.
Can you see?
Oh yeah, you good.
All right. Cool. Let me just hang this up.
Yeah.
Should sound like a horror movie. So yeah, so that's basically you know, the individualism thing. Reptilianism, divide and conquer is a military tactic, right? Conquer is a tactic that they perfected. So this is where media comes in, because media deals with, right? Remember, one of their most effective weapons in warfare is deception. Facts?
Right.
So they're able to deceive, you know, their own, you know, people that they perfected deception. So even in their interactions with our people and other people, just on a regular basis, it deals with not groupthink, individuality, pulling the good slave off the field, pulling the good nigga out of the bunch. You know what I mean? Always tapping, oh, you talented, you the magical Negro out of all of them. You the one that we're gonna save. You know what I mean? You the Negro that we're gonna. Shout out to my brother Copper Child. It was Copper Crowns. So that's what they do. They divide and conquer. You know what I mean? And they'll create enemies out of friends. Shout out to Dipset. You know, it's hard as a result of that. This what I'm recommending. This is a book that I'm recommending everybody go and get. It talks about cooperatives, co-ops, all right? A form of society. It's a cooperative, all right? This is the worker cooperative complex, Mondragon. So it prevents us from doing things like that, from working as a cooperative. It prevents us from working as a community. It prevents us from working as a collective. It prevents us from working together with a goal in mind. and taking ego or personal sentiments that we may have for one another, or personal disagreements that we may have had with one another, or dispositions. I don't like that nigga's height. I don't like the fact that Red Pill wears red hats. I don't like the fact that, you know, he says, okay. All of these things are personal and have nothing to do with the collective and the collective goal at hand. It doesn't have anything to do with anything that people come up with in order to be a part of European mind state, to go back into their savage reptilian brain, to go back into their inferior brain. I mean, because it's easy to be inferior. It's not easy to be, you know, superior thinker or a superior doer, or, you know, it's not easy to be dominant in a society where they made you a motherfucking permanent underclass. Okay, yeah, it's not easy. That's not the way that this shit works. Now, the European or the Neanderthal, their society has been basically terraformed and set up for them to exemplify individualism, but they're still attached to a collective purpose. They're still attached to a collective system. They're still attached to a collective goal, but they're able to demonstrate it as a way as that they're just working individually. Like I said before, they have perfected dualisms. They've perfected mirroring. They've perfected antagonistic, protagonistic relationships, Hegelian dialect, where your ass is the motherfucker in the middle getting played. Bad cop. That's the nigga way of breaking that down. So if me and one of my homies is scheming on something, right? Simple fucking mentality from street mentality. If there's three of us and we scheming on something, play against each other to put the third nigga who we scheming on in the mark. We play good cop, bad cop, but overall, the target is the motherfucker right in the middle. So that's how they got our people in America right now. We the target. We the ones that are getting played by both sides, and they're creating these conversations and these false narratives like they're going against each other. Fucking save the day, you know what I mean? Because Negroes have bought into this savior complex, and then they just play you out. And then you left hole in the bag. Like you left looking fucking real stupid with your individual ass and your independent ass, because how can somebody be independent and work for a white man? How could you claim independent? You got a boss. Like, what the fuck is that? What is that? Like, that's not independent, my nigga. You know what I mean? Like, that whole independent movement is basically black women being bold enough to say that they don't need black men. That's it. And just coming up with these this fuckery, intellectualizing the fuckery to come up with reasons to try to shit on men or shit on their natural counterpart. Now, some niggas deserve to be shitted on. I'm not sticking up and as if that the people are not out here, violating the natural laws of just humanity. But I'm talking about the overall goal of society and the way that society is affecting people, and they're allowing it to affect them, and they're coming forward affected, trying to affect us. You know what I'm saying? And now we got to burn that shit. We can't afford for that to take place. So we're like, fuck your squabbles. All of you is, you know what I mean? All of y'all are on code. All of y'all are under suspicion of being white supremacists. Like the brother Tariq Nasheed broke down. There's white extremists and then there's white supremacists. Those women that were marching with our women a few weeks ago, those were white supremacists. And the people who are behind Trump that he's putting into power, and they want to have marches in white sheets and whatnot, those are white extremists. But at the end of the day, they are both working for motherfucking similar goals. So there's no individualism with them. They just know how to play Hegelian dialect. They know how to play different narratives, because black people are so far gone you know, they get played out by all kind of different narratives. You want to eat, you know, you want to eat box. You're a woman, you want to eat box. You don't like men anymore because, you know, I don't know, so many different excuses that people are bringing forward. Well, they have a narrative to feed into that and make you feel like, you know what? You were manipulated biochemically, right? Through maybe a baby bottle or some Similac, or maybe through the crack cocaine in your mother's womb, or maybe through the 40 ounce, or maybe through the quarter water, or maybe through the motherfucking whatever, right? You are chemically manipulated in eugenics experiment, which is allowing people to practice what is known as species terminus, where individuals of organisms are being born and they don't want to procreate because of chemical imbalances. And you say that you was born like that. And because Lady Gaga, you know what I mean, is wearing strap-ons and, you know, she's trying to emulate the procreativity or just the power of the phallus, which no fucking latex can do, or a vibrator for that matter, you know, and you're buying into that Romanist, that Greco-Roman mentality, or that backwards thinking, or that Aquarian age, new age kind of thinking that people just allow, like, you know, just because we're in a Aquarian age don't mean that, you know, motherfuckers need to be sexual deviants. You need to fight that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you get stronger in the gym, by pushing the motherfucking pressure off of you. Right? That's how you get brolic. That's how you gain muscles. That's how you get stronger, by pushing the motherfucking pressure. So if you live in a time and age where the pressure is very strong for you to be a lesbian or for be a grown man and sniff another man's butthole, you know what I mean, and do all kind of nasty shit, then I don't know what to tell you, yo. Like this, you should not even be listening to me. You know, there's all kind of niggas out here that go and listen to Bad and Bougie, or, you know, plug into that realm, because Young Thug and some of those other people, they are going to speak your language a lot more than I will. You know what I mean? They're going to give you passes. They're going to allow you to be who you want to be. They're not going to want to demand anything great out of you. You know, they're not going to want to share research with you about your condition, or about, you know, something that may have led to your condition, or about some of the solutions to help balance your hormones and put them back into place. You feel me? And put you back on the track so you can procreate, so you can be an asset to some of these, you know, the opposite sex who need you. It could go either way, right? So, you know, I mean, society as it stands right now is real backwards, right? It's real backwards. It's real toxic. And, you know, I don't even want to deal with portions of it. I think that our community needs so much attention paid to it. We need so much healing. We need so much work to be done. We need to get together and gather in mass. Like, I think every weekend it should be a big event in another state. What the fuck else are you doing with your time? You might miss it out. You might miss out on it, but goddamn it, thank Mark Zuckerberg for live stream. Motherfucker, catch the live stream. We need to move around this chessboard in these days and times of uncertainty, and in these days and times of urgency, and in these days and times of strategy planning. We need to be more places. We need to be in more places doing more things. Like, there's information and there's solutions out here, and there's ways to get things done, but you got to be willing to do it. Where the motherfucking go-getters at? You know what I'm saying? Where them niggas at that throw bricks? Where them niggas at that make shit pop? You know what I mean? Like, where are they at? I want to talk to them, because they're the ones that's going to be needed to get this shit jump started and to make something happen like this without anybody's permission, without a motherfucking handout, without somebody saying, I'm gonna do it on my lunch break. None of that, you know what I mean? And no offense to anybody who got to do what they got to do. I'm not taking no shots at anyone that's into the professional corporate America 9-to-5 lifestyle. I salute you. I say ashe. I give you all the motherfucking props in the world because you're doing what you need to do what the fuck needs to be done. And that at the end of the day is the number one priority. Self-preservation is number one. Feeding your children and your family is number one. Nothing comes before that. Health comes before that, but nothing else comes before that. So if that's what you need to do, then that's what you do. This information is to be utilized to make your time at the plantation or at your 9-to-5 or at your job a lot more easier. We're just trying to give you keys in order to open certain doors. You could hear things better now. You could see things better. You could even smell things better. You smell me? So that's what this is. But we also want you to implant the idea in your mind on how are you going to change that situation for another situation, because you have the right to do that. You know what I mean? I didn't start out where I'm at right now. I didn't start out like that. You know, I didn't start out like that. There's progress that has to be made. But the fastest way to make the progress in 2017 with the technology that we got, the app that we're about to deliver, the membership site that we're about to deliver, you know, we're bringing solutions. Like we're not dealing with problems no more. Because when it comes to problem, we got to hack the problem. We got to hack the problem. Baba, we're going to need you to put on a motherfucking suit and tie these hackathons and be a fly on the wall. You know? Some of my brothers and sisters that's in the community that are nerds, self-acclaimed black nerds and stuff like that. Well, your time to shine is upon us. We need you to come forward on these networks like Baba TV, Know the Ledge, Brother Rich, and we need you to show the world, share with your community, your niche market, your network, share with us that information. Because goddamn it, it's about time that we need that. We need you to hack. We need you to code. We need you to write the future. We need you to utilize zeros and ones to build realities that are not yet built. We need apps. You know what I mean? We need motherfucking internet of all things. We need to get tapped into cryptocurrency. We need all of these things that are available right now. We need to make our own video games. We need to make our own virtual reality games, our own augmented reality games. And inside of our networks, I'm not going to be the one to do it, because guess what? That's not what I spent the better part of my life studying. That's not what I've identified as my talent, my gifts, and my skills. That's not my superpower. But I could overstand it. I can articulate it. I could decode it. I could add on to it. But there's somebody out there, that's their motherfucking superpower. Like, that might be my secondary superpower, but that's somebody's primary force. That's what they sit here to do. That's what they're born to do. They're wired, hardwired in their brains as engineers, scientists, code writers, architects, all of these things. I'm asking them, you need to let yourself be known. You need to come forward. Your works need to be added on to the different platforms and the teachers and the individuals that are out here putting up these W's and making it happen for our people in the name of what is known as consciousness or knowledge, or remember the 5 pillars of hip hop? Knowledge was the 5th one. Knowledge was the 5th one. And that shit got broken. It was a broken pillar and they removed it for a certain amount of time. That pillar is being restored in the culture of what is known as hip hop. That's where I rest. That's my headquarters. I don't know where everybody emanates from. But that's where I sit comfortably. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm not one of these niggas is denying I belong to hip hop. I was born in 75 in the motherfucking Bronx. Hip hop. That culture is what I breathed, slept, ate, and all that. Even what my father had, the African drums, all of it is one. Black Dot broke that down. Shout out to Dot. It's all one fucking expression. So that's what it is. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, we restored the pillar that was broken, not Red Pill by himself, but Red and Blue Pillar played a humongous part in restoring that pillar into hip hop. Into hip hop. That broken pillar in hip hop. Not what they was doing in the 80s and the 70s. They was doing that on, you know, that way. They was repping they era and they time. But Khalid Muhammad helped restore that pillar. El Malik Shabazz helped restore that pillar. Dr. Ben helped restore that pillar. Dr. Clark helped restore that pillar. Dr. Sabi helped restore that pillar. Dr. Valentine, and there's so many others in between that time that I can name, and they were all restorers of the pillar of knowledge. Go and look it up. It's the 5th pillar of hip hop. Hip hop being the most dominant genre ever created on the planet, according to the London Scientific Observatory Society. That's a college that's above all Ivy League colleges. Google it. Google the shit. You know what I'm saying? They nominated hip hop as the most dominant. And we put forth a lecture in 2009 called Blueprint 322. The subtitle is Hip Hop Runs the World, or rules the world, or powers the world. And it does. Not you niggas rap songs, not mumble rap. Hip hop is a culture. It's breakdancing, it's graffiti, it's the way that you dress, it's the way that we talk, it's the motherfucking MC, the master of the ceremony, it's the DJ, okay? It's the graffiti of the artist, it's the culture or the knowledge. Yeah. And the dancer, the break dancer. And now they doing, you know, they got mad different dances, you know what I mean? They doing dab and all of this other stuff, but breakdancing, where it comes out of, niggas spinning on their heads and shit like that. All of this other stuff derives not just from that. They was dancing before that, but that's what we're talking about with the 5 pillars of hip hop. And that culture has permeated all subcultures in all corners of the planet, and that's how you infuse consciousness. That's how consciousness is being received around the globe, because it has a hip hop influence to it that's undeniable. Now, and it is a missing pillar, so it's speaking to people of all backgrounds, all nationalities, all different walks of life, and I'm familiar, and I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that. That's why we got this project right here. Hold on real quick, Baba. That's why we got this right here, the Scorpion King. Okay, a 10-song project. Hold on. A 10-song project. You know,
Real hip hop, fire.
God hop, you know, and we're utilizing this creation or this project that comes out of, you know, the minds, the intellectual property, you know, the creative juices of Brother Red Pill, Blue Pill, Cambada, and everybody else, Anthem on the tracks, everybody else that contributed to creating this work of art. And it's not the only one, and it's not the last one. You know, we artists, we create when the time is right. But this project will open up doors for us and get us indoors that consciousness or doing lectures or YouTube videos might not get us in. You know what I mean? And we at war. So when it's war, we going into all places. We gotta basically kick down all doors and get into all places, because the hearts and the minds of our people are up for grabs right now. And I would rather, you know, be in the good graces of our people than to be in the bad graces of I would rather be looked at from black people as somebody who is there to help our people than looked at as a person who's seen as a detriment to the society that our people represent. And, you know, there's a large percentage of our people that's currently being looked at as detriments or menaces to their society, and they're being deemed expendable. Whereas, you know, the people who are deeming them expendable are also becoming menaces and threats to society. But when you got society gripped in fear, and when you got society basically acquiescing to your gangsterism or to your approach or your assaults, then they're gonna go with the weaker of the two. So Trump and them is savage, 40 and 21 savage, and Chief Keef and them is savage. But what savage do you think the American people are gonna side with to take out the other savage? Because that's what wars have always been. It's one group of more savage niggas taking out another group. That's what the lions in the Serengeti be doing. A new lion pop up and be like, nigga, I'm more savage than that nigga. I'm gonna eat him. And I'm gonna sleep with all his women. So they going after your women. They want your woman. They want the black woman box. They want the booty of war. They want Beyonce in them. They want a pipe. Indian men want your women. Chinese men want your women. Russians want your women. Like, a lot of people want your women. So they see that they, you know, you might be in the way. You know, the women may be those hidden figures that are out there, that hidden figure, right? They may be more of an asset to dominant society or to a society of people who are basically misogynistic and savage than you self-righteous niggas out here, that you lazy ass niggas who want to sleep with everybody else's women anyway. So that's what that shit, that's what war be boiling down to sometimes, you know? And then and like I said, you got white women using your women against you. What you think they was at that rally talking about? White men? White women don't talk about white men. They don't talk down about their sons. They picked one fucking white man, and that's who they was just focusing on. They was like, don't talk about no other white man. They focused on one white man, Donald Trump. But the rest of the conversation easily was on about your black asses. Especially when they come to talk to your black women, they not talking to black women about the barbarity and the savagery of white men. They kind of like, black women get hooked up with some white dick on some Tinder shit. That's, yeah, you know, my son, he's Black Lives Matter, you know, he's real into black women, like the guy who's with Serena. Yeah, I mean, Obama.
That's what they do.
You know, Obama, he's a beautiful creation of the unity will come together as liberals. And
that's just what they say, Brad. Yeah, that's just what they say.
Still as just one. Let's just combine. Like, love will cure everything. Let's just meet up. I'm gonna bring my son over with me, and he'll bring cookies. And you know, black women, they coming from like Watts and shit. They're like, oh my goodness, this is some new shit. I'm accepted in society. Dominant society will let me sit at the table, even this man is calling me a nigga and a slave. His wife, his mother, isn't letting me sit at the table. You saw that in the Django. He didn't go and get his woman from the motherfucking plantation. Yep. He had her. She wasn't going nowhere. He didn't even go. He went and avenged the people who raped her. She read letters about that nigga getting killed, and he had to write her letters. Why didn't he go to the plantation as the first person to save? I don't know. Maybe she didn't want to leave. So taking place right now, like, there's no loyalty in our race. We have to reassess what loyal, because I'm not generalizing. I'm not pointing out one different gender. I'm just saying they got everybody unloyal. They got everybody confused as their allegiance. They got niggas sniffing ass. You know what I mean? They got niggas turning it, you know, fuck niggas around, make them feel comfortable. Niggas tucking in their fangs. Huh? Niggas tucking in their tail around crackers to make them feel cool and shit. You know what I mean? Letting, you know, lowering the standards of our hip hop culture to let them come in and be mumble rapping around and you know, talk crazy about our women and all of this crazy shit and paid in the culture, but never bring any. There's no cultural exchange though. They didn't give you niggas nothing. You ain't get nothing. The Japanese who breakdancing and ran with your shit. You didn't get nothing from the Russians. You didn't get nothing from the fucking Chinese. You didn't get nothing from the white boys in Wisconsin that's rapping. You didn't get anything in the terms of cultural exchange when they ran with $1 trillion culture that your bum ass created in the fucking Bronx. When you couldn't rub 2 fucking stones together, when all of these buildings was burning, when this shit was looking like a dumpster, and you went ahead and you couldn't even ride the train without people robbing from you, and this place was very dark. All right, and our people in our lower poverty state, we went ahead and created a culture that has been evaluated in the trillions, and we can't even get employment. There's stores right now playing hip hop when you walk in. Motherfuckers is like, yo, what's up? What's popping? And they won't even look at you twice for employment. Not to say that you need their employment, but if you wanted it. And whatnot, well, the whole label is hip hop and there's not one melanated body in the building. What the fuck is that? You don't even got no Puerto Ricans there? There's Puerto Ricans and black people that started hip hop in the Bronx. You don't even got Puerto Ricans on the motherfucking payroll. So, yo, this whole culture has been, this shit is a pimp culture. It's a whole culture. It's a deaf culture. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be, you gotta rehabilitate her. You gotta throw a cape on and save her. If not, then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do with hip hop at this point? This shit is a whole culture. It's not even, we can't even claim ownership. So we went ahead and did the project. You know, we said God hop, fuck that hip hop shit. It's God hop. You know what I mean? If you're with the movement, support it. If you're not with the movement, report it. You know, because all publicity is good publicity. If you out there making beats, holla. If you do videos, holla. If you got video channels, holla. If you a DJ, holla. If you got your streaming service, just holla. Like, it's not difficult. You know, this shit is not hard. You know what I mean? Like, we could be making so much bread right now, but Negroes don't want to work together. They individual, like you said, they on that individual shit. And that's the ingredients of fuckboyism. That's the tendencies of a fuck nigga. You know what I mean? That's that devil on your shoulder taking over. Or that's that Neanderthal inside of our blood system. So many of us, you know, we struggle with that. Until something changes, we're gonna see the same results, Baba, because you can't do the same thing and expect different results. I don't want niggas to have to get shaken up to change. That's corny to me. That's not authentic. Right? Like, people is like, oh, now Trump is president, more people are gonna become conscious. I'm like, with them niggas. Like, you had to become conscious because that was the reason for you becoming consciousness. You wasn't able to catch the wave before that. You wasn't convinced that this was the way to go. You niggas get the fuck out of here. I don't even want to talk to niggas like that. Like, they're not gonna be down for the cause for real, for real. They're just bandwagon. These niggas coming in on some scary shit. You know what I mean? Like, these is Blair Witch ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Their hearts are not into it. They don't want to really make change. They don't want to build for their people. They want a rest haven. They just want to be safe. So I don't know about that. You know, I think the people who have woken up and been awake and been waiting for their quote unquote leaders to lead them, for them, you know, they're getting a rude awakening, because nobody can lead you in these day and times, in this I era, this I age. This is about I. This is about self, you know, way. But definitely in the know thyself way. You know what I mean? Definitely in the do your DNA and find out where your blood or your DNA, do your birth chart. Find out your constellations. Find out your motherfucking your GPS. You know what I mean? Find out where you're situated amongst the star systems. You know what I mean? Find out your rising and shit like that. The person that you're with. Do a compatibility test. Go find out how you and that person are compatible. Do a birth chart. Not to say that's the end all be all that you're going to leave her or marry her based on that, but it's all about having knowledge and information. Like, man, know thyself, meaning that it's about you have to know thyself. Use Trump, use Clinton, use Bush, use Jay-Z, use all of these motherfucking characters to help you get to know yourself a little bit better. That nigga's an asshole. He's a narcissist, Trump. He's a habitual liar. He's an egomaniac. Can you learn about yourself by watching him? He's addicted to Twitter, social media. He's a persuasive speaker. Can you see a little bit of yourself in him? Can you look at him and say to yourself, well, I have an idea of who not to become. I have a motherfucking a picture of what I never want to be like, because that I identify as being obnoxious. So either you're going to become just like this motherfucker as they normalize him, or you're going to resist and you're going to become more of your higher self or more of a greater part of you. That's how I could use Trump. Wow, he uses me and other people for his means or his purposes and for his goal and for his power source. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the police and what they're doing by killing our people, and you study human psychology and you study fear and you study other things, you understand that you're watching Europeans panic. You're watching white inferiority. You know, you're watching them show out because of their fear. You're not watching anything else. And if you study, you would understand what you're seeing. So you use certain situations to both edify your studies and edify where you're at in life and who you are. People are out here declaring open air war on men and women, but men in particular with melanin. No, women, men and women, because our women are being decimated in the medical industry. They're being homicided, genocided, and holocausted in the medical industry through the FDA, through the drugs, through the cancer, through all of the malpractices and all of that, through malnourishment. So through heart disease, all of the top leading causes of death is being afflicted by the FDA and by big pork, big meat, big chicken, the alcohol, the tobacco, all of these big pharma, all of that shit is playing out on the women. Soft war, the quiet war, biochemical, biological, biogenetic. They're manipulating seeds. They're playing with the chromosomes and the quote unquote hormonal imbalances of either testosterone or estrogen in the seed. Shout out to Wesley Muhammad. Okay, that's how they're killing. That's how they're assaulting and attacking our women. But the men are also getting violently assaulted, violently shot down, violently lynched. You know what I mean? Traumatizing if they show it on social media into the minds of millions of people in real time, especially if they're melanated. It's almost as if when we saw our people hanging from trees and they brought all of us out in order to watch that lynching, to watch the trauma, and they would embolden their own people who were standing there during the picnic or the pick-a-nigga or the barbecue where they barbecued us, the auto de phase, and they will cook us on a steak. That emboldened them. That didn't traumatize them. That emboldened them and helped them get over their slave disorders and whatnot, or their post-traumatic slave disorders. That helped embolden them, because you're the cursed tribe of Ham, you're the Moor, you're the Muslim, you're the Turk, you're the savage, you're the Saracen, you're the Black Knight, you're the snakes from Ireland, you're the boogeyman, you're all of these, you're Baphomet, you're the new version of Satan, you're the goat, you're all of these fucking things, okay? You're Satan, you're Saturn, you know. So them sacrificing you to their deities, sending you up, like, it's almost the same way that if we caught hold of a slave owner if we put our mittens on the woman who, you know, falsely accused Emmett Till and had him murdered, and probably was right there when he was being murdered, to feed her Luciferian soul, because they get more powerful off of our suffering, the same way that a parasite becomes more emboldened off of you becoming weaker as it feasts off of you. That's what they do. That's what they do. Look at black people who live around white people. They're being fed off of. You're not feeding off of them. You're not becoming stronger feeding off of them. You think you are, because you could sell drugs to them and you could feed their drug dependencies, and you could feed their little, you know, they have, you know, mandingo tendencies. The white girls want to get piped down and everything. So niggas think that they're adding on to the revolution, and they're scoring one for Nat Turner by giving Gwendolyn back shots. You know what I mean? And that's furthest from the truth, because they're vampiring your ass. They're graveyard pussy. They feeding off of your energy. They got you all in fucked up situations and stuff like that, getting locked up, drawing all kind of negativity to you that never existed when you lived in your black city surrounded by black niggas and black women and black things. You didn't have all these freak things, motherfuckers, accidents to be happening, and all of this bad luck and certain other things. But I'm just saying, like, there's a parasite host kind of relationship in these all white, in these towns where the majority of the people are integrated into dominant European pilgrim society. If they don't understand that society, now if you have a situation where the blacks studied these Europeans, like if they are Irish, you know, they're European descent, like if they're Russian or German or Irish, or you know, from Transylvania, if you studied them and you can overstand them and you have dominance in that place of intelligence, okay, yeah, maybe we can have that conversation. But that's not the case in a lot of these situations. These niggas don't know even these niggas in the lodge, they don't know these Europeans. They don't know their descent. They don't know the history of the European. They have not fucking studied them. The version of European history that they got out of their Ivy League schools, their armed forces colleges, or their their historically black university, that shit is watered down, Boule sponsored doo-doo. Okay, that's not the real information. That's not this shit right here. That ain't this. Okay, she went all the way in on this book. She went all the way in. She broke that shit down about who.
Hold that up again.
Medieval Upheaval, a catalog of bloody European evils. By Shashette Kemet. You should get in touch with her through Brother Ankh. You could get in touch with her that way. This shit right here. Guns, Germs, and Steel. Okay, how they conquered in that name, and guns, germs, and steel. Like, it's deeper than a rabbit hole. And this is about, you know, self-love. This is about utilizing information for empowerment purposes amongst our own people, so we could study and we can identify what we have been shown. Red Pill didn't say it, but we were shown that that's one of our open enemies at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And we live in a hostile environment right now, where there's a group of these individuals that are actually planning through legislation, you know, some real wicked shit. So why not study it? Why not do the knowledge on it? Why not keep up with it? You know what I mean? Why not share this information with our people who may need it? They got questions. Why not give them answers? You know what I mean? So that's about it.
Well, Red Pill, brother, thank you very much for blessing Baba TV. It's good to see and hear from you. And hopefully I'll be down there soon.
Yeah.
Soon as this weather breaks, brother. That was very informative. I'm going to go in here and meditate on much of what you did. I got to get back in them books. You know, I would say that to anybody. You know, get away from Google for a minute and get in them and delve in them books.
Word.
You'll learn a lot more, and you can cross-reference, and it'll show you how to do some work.
That's why New York, I love riding the train system. Like, I got access to whips and all of that, but I like the train because I need time to, I'm not gonna read it just sitting in the house. There's too much technology in the crib, you know what I mean? But when I'm on my travels and whatnot, even if I'm on the road, even if I take one of those long trips,
right,
I got my nose in a book, and I'm highlighting, I'm returning, I'm revisiting old classics and reapplying, a new set of eyes to these books, a new brain system and whatnot. And it is what it is, it's very interesting, the things that are being revealed to me. And the European and the way that the ancestors have made it, they're making a lot of this a lot of this information. They're bringing a lot of this just by the way that everyday day in life is going. Just every day I wake up to some new shit.
Right.
Which just certifies and stamps everything that's already been put out there. Like, okay, yeah, we on it. All right, let's keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep cooking. Because like I said, if you're comfortable with seeing us rising and the community rising or our people rising, then you got to be comfortable with seeing something fall. We don't need to do all of this panic talk. Like, niggas is too panicky these days. Niggas, motherfuckers, these niggas. Like, it's not time to be all crazy and shit. Just who be alike, who see alike. Put your money where your mouth is. Put your hands in the dirt. Make your hands do some things. Put your hands where your mouth is, right? Stop waiting for other people to do things for you. Take the initiative to throw some shit on your shoulders and run with it. Like I said, we got an app coming. We got a membership site coming. I'm gonna be up all night tweaking information to finish giving it to my designers, my developers. Like I said, I was supposed to be in Miami doing the Facts Initiative. So we postponed that. We're going to do a broadcast through Richard's channel with an update. And we're going to launch the membership site through the live stream. But we'll be in Miami March 12th. And we'll be in Brooklyn February 6th with Dr. Valentine, opening up for Dr. Valentine in Brooklyn, St. Francis College with King Simon. We're going to be in Atlanta on the 25th with Brother Sutek, a charity event for we working, B. We just working. We want to work more, but it's the hibernation season right now.
Right.
Yeah, I tried, family. I tried to move around and be everywhere at once. But the ancestors was like, nigga, you need to sit down for February. Structure yourself, recharge your battery, realign yourself, detox a little bit. I got to detox. I got to get some of this stuff out of me, you know what I mean? To put newer things in. 2016, I absorbed mad negative energy. I absorbed a lot of hits, a lot of, because every day you getting hit with spiritual attacks. You know what I mean? Facebook sometimes, the fuck boys be at it. I deal with they shit, you know what I'm saying? Every day is something new. The streets got their own level of fuck shit. There's dagger in your back. You got to pull swords out, back up. You know what I mean? So you got to put your hand, my hand got to put, you see I got new hands, right? I got these cuffs, they got new hands. Niggas done bit your hand off. They say don't bite the hands off to chew it. I had to get new hands. So, I just got to shed some skin and, we'll be definitely in full swing, banging on these, you know, banging this information the way it needs to be, raising the bar, ready to shoot this mini movie. We're debuting the video Prince. As a matter of fact, I think we're debuting that tonight on this channel.
Oh shit! All right.
Before we get out of here, I'm gonna play that, and you know, just look out for that. Look out for more live streams coming out of Know the Ledge. I believe we're taking Tuesdays, Fridays, and bringing it to the YouTube live stream audience, and you know that you know that's about it. Anything else comes up, you know, Baba, you the first one to know. And on Thursday, September 23rd, in the borough, Long Island, which is part of Kings County, is in Brooklyn when it was part of New Amsterdam and whatnot. We'll be doing a lecture with my brothers from Kia Life Production, Knowledge to God, on Fear of a Black and More Messiah in Long Island for the family on 23rd of February, which is coming up very, very soon. All right. And I want y'all to definitely come through and be there when we come to Long Island. That'll be our first time. And you know, we're gonna be doing it up. Let me see if I can share the screen.
Try to make that.
No. You already know. You know what I'm saying? And I look forward to doing a full presentation on your channel, Baba, a full presentation, you know, whatchamacallit, title, like Facts Initiative or one of the other titles, you know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
That'll be powerful, man. Whenever you're ready.
You done know, you done know. Okay, so I can't find that actual, flyer for the Long Island event, but we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Hold on. I got so much shit on my Facebook. It's crazy. I be having to scroll like, matter of fact, let me do this. Let me share the screen before we log off, because I want to show them that article, the Hell in Paradise thing. It's right there on my page. So let me see something. All right, you see it?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, family. So the way that the Daily News and other periodicals play games, this is how they speak. They speak in code. Baba Phil Valentine was one of the architects of showing us these covers to talk to each other. So you don't got to be a fucking rocket scientist to get this one, all right? This is not 101. Like, come on, it's so blatant at the end of the day that you know, you see what they're doing. So, hey, Donald Trump, they're like, hey, Don, look who's loving life. He's in paradise. He's in Hawaii, right? No ban on fun for Obama. So why are you equating the ban to Obama? Unless he's the Muslim. So no ban on fun for Obama. Who the fuck said that you were supposed to be banning fun on Obama? Who has the power to ban the fun of Obama? Just that kind of talk is kind of suspect. Like, really, nigga? Donald Trump, nigga? Mr. Apprentice is going to ban fun? Come on, B. Hell in paradise. So by wishing hell in paradise family, you know, you kind of like speaking in code. All right, here goes the Eventbrite for the Long Island event. Fear of a Black and More Messiah. Go to Eventbrite and put in hiphopisreal.com. Hiphopisreal.com is it's a battle rap channel that works with Smack family. So we're talking about a merger of the streets and consciousness, which I identified in my lecture as being in this goddamn revolution that we're talking about. Is one of the most is hip and hop. Hip is the intelligence, it's the knowledge, it's the consciousness. Hop is the action, it's niggas doing, it's the shooters, it's the people making things, it's the best doers, thinkers, knowers. Hip hop. So, you know, come and see me in Long Island. You know, we ain't out there to play no games. We'll have our clothes with us, the music with us. Everything that you want and need will be in the building. And yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
That's what it is.
Let me see something before we play this video and get out of here. Yeah, this was the event that got postponed this weekend, the Facts Initiative tour. That was in Miami, but like I said on Thursday, because I had to go to Miami for at least 2 days and get, you know, whatchamacallit. I'm doing my own promotions on that. So I had to get down there and get busy, right? Promoting, dropping it off, doing radio, you know, all of that. So once they canceled my flight and then told me that the next flight was on Saturday, yeah, that was the ancestor speaking. That was a done data. So we'll be doing the exact same event March 12th. March 12th, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's a Sunday, March 12th. Same back place, same channel, same everything. All right. So look out for that. All right. I guess we showed that. We'll get into this video and then we out. Oh yeah, this was the commercial. Hold on. After this is the video, then I'll be going. Love and light to the family, and we'll see y'all again.
Peace. We out. Peace.
Nah, hold on.
All right. I'm here. We here.
We're gonna do Prince, and then we out.
All right.
All right.
That was powerful right there. When did you just got finished with that one?
Yeah, the other day.
Uh-huh.
The hell? What are you doing? Really? See how this damn thing be acting? All fugazi. Hold on.
cause anymore. But I'm gonna take the big chunk over here to the homie. That's why I have no issue with people calling him a master mason. You damn right, he's the master of his catalog. He's the master of his words. He's the master of his archive. You feel me? He's the master of the ceremony. Right? Very few artists have been able to achieve this, but the ones that have, we've seen a demise.
I'm on 100%, 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple. For the Benz, change up the circle of friends. The nether will circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 We feeling the urge, killing the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the verse with immunity. Pillars of unity. This is the moment of Voltron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the stage of the Pope bomb. This is the stage you can smoke on. Copper pound. Came under scene, I was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16, I turned copper brown. Look for revenge in the copper town. Capping the crazy and copper crown. 21 guns, salute jumper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the club that be talking. King County clothing, yeah, king of New York, and I'm Christopher walking, the missiles and walking. Missiles be talking, 21 hammers with country to I'm on 100%, 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple. The Benz. The net twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Red and blue, red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Charges are federal, orders incredible, markers indelible, sparkers immeasurable, sparking the medical, focus on pedestal, sparks for that revenue, hawks for what's edible. Heart full of vegetables, artists the festivals, heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins. Whoa.
Powerful. Peace.
Yeah, peace.